Here they come. Ready? Set the hook now! Got that?
Yep.
Strickland Charters. Zach, he's serious. He's not going to take it anymore. We're going to let it go down the bottom, crank it up about 5 cranks. And then when he eats it, I'm going to count to 15. Let's get up about 5 shots here. There he is. He's there.
Oh, there he goes. He just ate it. He just ate it.
Okay, we got it. About 20 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Talk about a big fish. Alright, got him on that one, boys. Alright, everybody wants to come up. We're going to do battle.
Come on, Sig. Come on, this is the art of catching big fish right here.
Fish out loud.
Fish out loud, baby. Woo!
Sig's gonna move in the front of the boat here. Strictly comes around.
Yeah, he's pissed now. It's your...
It's already been a good 25-minute battle.
It's only about 20 feet down. It's about 8 foot.
Come on, Sig, bring him up. He's still down there about 10, 12 feet. And you can just barely see him. Man, he's giving Sig a workout. There he is in the water. I don't know if the camera's catching it or not, but come on, let's just see him. Holy shit, that is a big freaking shark. I just saw a really good glimpse of him. Right there. Go big, go home, baby. We got it on the camera. We can see it in the camera. That is a big ass shark. Bring it up a little more. Getting this on film?
Bringing them back up here. We're going to keep getting a view of this monster bull shark. There he is. Look at those teeth. Not happy. Not happy.
Oh.
All right, I'm here with good friend Derek. Happens to be my neighbor and a fishing fanatic. Derek, a little bit about you and your ability to catch big fish.
My ability to catch big fish? I don't know. I just get lucky sometimes, I guess.
No, but you're also the founder of the GOAT tournament.
Yes, goat kayak fishing tournament. I've fished in Panama. I've fished in Bahamas, Costa Rica, all over the United States.
Wonderful. So he's an avid fisherman who happens to live with myself here in the Pensacola, Navarre, Destin area of the Panhandle of Florida, and we're going to talk a little bit about the shark. There's fishing. We're going to start out with the beach fishing. What's the easiest thing for someone who is coming down here and they want to catch a big shark?
Catch a big shark.
Off the beach.
Off the beach. If you're going to do it by yourself, you're going to need some equipment. Right reel, right rod, and a way to get the bait out. So probably
Kayak.
the easiest kayak.
Kayak,
yeah,
yes.
For
Yes.
sure.
And how far do we take the bait out in the kayak? Because we have a second sandbar.
We do. So the bathymetry, or the bottom contour of all the beaches is about
Yeah.
the same, but the distance of those things from the beach varies depending
Yes.
on where you are in the world. So here in the Panhandle, that first sandbar is within a couple feet of the water's edge. Then it drops off to like 12 feet. That what we reference as the second sandbar, most people would think is really the first.
Yes.
But it's that color change that you'll see during the middle of the day where it's a light green. That's what we call the second sandbar. That's anywhere from 150 to 200 yards off the beach.
Okay.
You want to be just beyond that. Sharks will come up and down that sandbar and wait for something to come out of that first trough and cross over with the tide change. So they're looking for detritus. They're looking for dead stuff sitting on the bottom, and they pick it up and then go offshore.
So we got the kayak. We've got
Yep.
we are gonna kayak out there with the bait. What's the best way setup, and the best baits to use when we get out to that distance? We see that color change and we drop that down.
So what I like to use is either, say, half a kingfish. We've got plenty of kingfish here. Depending on the size and what I'm targeting, either half or whole bonita. We're talking, 5 to 10 pounds of meat. And for big hammerheads, you really want stingrays.
Okay.
Stingrays are great.
All right.
And so you're going to use a 16-aught circle hook. Make sure that you have the license. There's an online through FWC land-based shark fishing certification. It's free. It takes like 10-15 minutes to do it. No big deal. But you hook that up, and then what you want to do is you want to have a breakaway weight. That's my favorite thing, because with the tides and the currents that we have and the rips, you don't really want your bait to be out there moving around on its own and pulling some drag where you're getting occasional ticks and you're thinking that it's a fish, but it's really not, because it's the current.
Okay, so a breakaway weight, and Derek's going to give an example of how to do that and how it best works.
Yeah. So what I like to do is just find something on the beach, find a rock, even a piece of cinder block, something that isn't going to hurt the environment when you put it back out in the water. Most of that stuff that's washed up on the beach came from there anyway. Especially if it's got barnacles on it. So you just grab it. What I like to use is just some cheap 15-pound mono. I tie a uni on the one end, uni knot slip down, and it'll choke that weight. And so you choke the weight, you give it 10 to 15 feet of line, and you tie the other end right to the hook. Okay. So that when you paddle that out, you drop the weight down really slow. The bait goes over the side next, and you just let it sit on the bottom. And when the shark comes in and grabs it, he's just going to gum it a little bit. He's going to grab it in his mouth. He's going to swim away slowly, and he might drag the weight with him, which is fine. Or that's going to actually cause that hook to get set. It's going to force him to want that meat, and he's going to then inhale it. When he inhales it, he feels the hook. He runs. This will definitely snap.
That'll break. This line is designed to break, and that's the whole idea.
Yep.
And off you go, and it's fish on.
It's fish on. Yeah, it's fish
Absolutely.
on.
Okay.
Let them run and get ready for a sore shoulder.
All right, so that's off the beach. Now, we have pier fishing down here.
We do.
It's very popular, and you can also fish for sharks off the pier.
You can.
Give us your technique and the importance of that.
Okay, so what I used to do growing up down in Indian Rocks Beach, on the Indian Rocks Beach Pier before it got blown down with Hurricane Elena, that's 85-ish.
Yes.
Every weekend was Shark Weekend. Everybody would go down there. And what we used to do, this is in the old days, we didn't have biodegradable balloons back then, but they do now, so I recommend you use them.
Get a colored one. Get a colorful one.
Yeah, I'll get a colorful one.
Yeah.
You don't want to use blue. You're not going to see it.
So basically, we have biodegradable balloons.
Yep.
Very important. And get a colorful balloon, red, because
yellow.
you're going to watch this as it goes out.
So if I had a little bait,
Yes.
I want a little balloon.
Yes. So
Big bait, big balloon.
Yes.
And all you're going to do is just tie that off. And at the top of your leader, you're going to have a swivel. And you're just going to drag that balloon knot right through the end of the swivel. Let it float out with the current, with the wind.
Yes.
And when it gets away from the structure, far enough away to where you think the fish are,
pull.
100-yard pull.
Yes.
Pull as hard as you can. This balloon's going to pop off. The line's going to sink straight down, and you're set. at that point, you are at the whims of current and everything.
Yes, yes.
You know, and you have to play that game. But that's really the most effective way to get it out there. It's easy.
The important part is always make sure you have something like biodegradable balloons. In the other case, you know, something, a rock or something structure always helps. Now the third is just fishing for them off the boat. As you can see in the video, that's what we did. We caught a bonita. It's an oily fish, and we cut it up to where it was just seeping. And because we were fishing for snapper over a reef, that shark was down there. We knew he was down there because he was stealing our snapper.
Yes.
And that's when I went down, and it took a couple times to hook them for me. First time I think I counted to 10, 1001, 1002, and then I decided to count to 1020
Yeah.
before I had them on
Before
and
you had
fought
'em
them.
on, yeah.
So
You let them eat.
Let 'em
Again,
eat.
that's that. Sharks, if you have a bait that's flailing and in distress and running and it's fighting, a shark will chomp at it. It will come up, it'll strike, it'll chomp
Yes.
and shake its head and run off, and then it's cut. If you're using a dead bait, or if you're using an incapacitated bait that's smaller, that you've just sunk down there, let them eat.
let them eat it. Yeah.
Let them eat, and wait for the big run. You know, a small little tick, 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 or a nice steady drag, unless it's a nurse shark. You want to let them eat.
Yeah.
Because when they feel that hook, just like with any other fish, they will take off and they will run, and then you definitely have them.
So your heart's going to be pumping 100 miles an hour,
Yep.
but just make sure they eat the bait.
Yep.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Derek. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And remember, you're just one cast away. Hey, thanks a lot. Remember, click like, subscribe, and